Hello folks, I hope you're having a splendid day today. I've been gone for a little while now, mainly just enjoying the last few days of my summer out, but during that time we've gotten a few new gameplay clips to analyze, as well as some important details talked about in the recent Dying to Know episode, and some things they even cut out for whatever reason. So today it's kind of a random video, but those time codes will be in the description if needed. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the first clip where we have Aiden running and jumping and wall running and kicking and, doing his normal stuff. We also get to see 10 seconds of new gameplay where we soar the skies with the help of the paraglider without our biomarker, most likely meaning the paraglider as well as the grapple hook are features unlocked earlier in the game, taking place sometime before the hospital mission with Hakon. Hopefully, with the random release of the recent clips, it gives me hope that we're going to be getting stuff like that more often as we get closer to launch, because I think for me and many others it's good enough to hold us over until the next Dying to Know episodes. Even if we don't see much, it's something. Now before we move on, I think every clip has one thing or another that could use some polish, and that's just my honest opinion. Some things look rougher than others, and I'm sure you may be able to tell for yourself, and if not, cool, but for this video I'm going to be avoiding pointing out all the obvious glitches and bugs as they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Let's just all hope Techland is working on fixing and polishing up those little things, and I'm sure they are. One of the newest clips shows Aiden within one of those faction fortresses with the large wooden spikes and red banners, probably belonging to the Untainted, or maybe it depends what faction we assign to that area. Aiden smacks this can duct tape to a stick to the ground and blows the enemy back. We then leap over the guy twice with the second one turning into a dropkick. Here we see a shot I think near the bus terminal where we do another shoulder leap and then ground slam with the weapon blowing all the infected back. This area looks pretty barren for being a road as well, so I'm surprised there isn't more cars scattered around to be honest. What we see next is that recurring cathedral to the right, but also some weapon customization, this example being an axe, which I think so far is a huge step up from the original. And then we get to see this weapon in action, and same thing with a machete that has an electricity effect, and then another machete with now a flame effect. Next we get to see Aiden leaping across some sketchy wooden boards not too far from the cathedral. We've seen it 10 times in recent gameplay. And then we get a look at how the trampoline looks once again with us then transitioning into a wall run to where we then climb up with a shot. After we get to see some traps though, with one being an electrocution pad, and another a car bomb, which compared to the first game lets off an actual explosion instead of an electrocution shock. And that is in fact all we get to see when it comes to new gameplay. Hopefully we get more smaller trailers like the ray tracing one to hold us over as the news continues to slow down. I think it's about time we move into the actual interviews that have occurred, so let's start off with the interview that was possibly cut out of Dying to Know for whatever reason, because they weren't finished or needed to shorten it to fit it into Gamescom. Or the third option is that it was actually filmed after, which I find more likely to be the case since Samana is just wearing a different shirt. During an interview between the senior producer and lead game designer Techland, we learned that there are many different things that they can add post-launch, an example being survivor features such as managing food, resources, and building shelters, and we then go on to hear about the game's crafting system, which I've covered on the channel before, but I'll recap it here. You have two options, one being modding a weapon to enhance it or creating items from scratch. Things like lockpicks, potions, grenades, and this can all be upgraded through interactions with the Craftmasters. They are quartermaster style characters that can give out small tasks or side quests usually focus on gathering resources, and once you complete them, they'll then upgrade your blueprints. The items crafted through the blueprints that are upgraded by the Craftmasters will be more effective according to the devs, and with most of the blueprints they are allowed up to 9 different levels. Some of these levels are statistic changes like more damage and durability, but some can also add gameplay changes as well. The last thing spoke about is weapon modding. We can have up to 3 modification slots, allowing for us to change things like the handling, damage, flame effects, and a ton of other things that can allow for any weapon you pick up to be different from anything else. When Taman is talking to the lead technical gameplay animator at Techland, we learn of this new system called progressive hit reactions, where consecutive hits on enemies can enhance the reactions, as they also can react differently depending on the weapon category and the body parts targeted, creating a huge variety of different ways they can react in encounters. We then get to see some behind the scenes clips of stuntmen flipping around, drop kicking, getting tugged by ropes as if you were the one getting drop kicked. It's pretty cool stuff, I love to see it. Also, goddamn, what a punch. One of the coolest things that come out of this Dying to Know episode was all the new concept art. We learned that there are around 200 weapons total in the game, which is a good fact to know. The first image shows off multiple variations of brass knuckles and whatever hell these are called. If I were to guess, I assume you start off with the left side as a first level and have to upgrade it over time to create these new versions, or something created through the Craftmaster. Either way, I'm definitely ready to fly around like Spider-Man and killing like Wolverine with these things though. Next we see a grenade made out of a tennis ball that maybe shoots out nails if I were to assume. We also get to see more machetes as well, with there being specific pieces that we may be able to change that can enhance the weapon. Out of nowhere we see these really cool makeshift weapons with a Peacekeeper logo on the side of both. The top weapon is, I believe to be a nail shooter or a flamethrower, and the bottom is a disc shooter. Next we see a sturdy looking axe, a very makeshift looking blade, and a sword to the right. We get to see a new look of the bow next with a disc blade and finally a hammer referred to as the Brilliant Hammer on the left, which you can get in Dying Light now on techland.gg. The final concept art we get to see is the return of the crossbow with the red dot sight, and that wraps that all up. I'm really excited to see how these all look in game because the ideas I think really stand out. The last thing revealed was a Nintendo Switch version of Dying Light Platinum Edition was actually happening. There's been some really impressive ports of the handheld system, so I have faith they'll pull it off. Overall, I thought the episode was okay. Definitely the weakest of the three, but I don't know, feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. I just feel like with each episode releasing, they're kind of releasing less content as they go, so it's just a little worrying, alright? But anyways, that's gonna be the end of the video for today. If you want, feel free to like the video, subscribe, and as always, stop by next time.